It doesn't get any bigger than this. For the first time in MTAC football history, a 16 playoff is implemented, and a great matchup in store tonight from Martin Luther King Jr. Park in Springfield. The Riverside Christian Academy Knights, the first number 3 seed in the South, looking to pull the ultimate upset against the number 2 seed in the North, the South Haven Christian School Patriots. It's the MTAC Wildcard playoff game presented by Kingdom.com as we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm Spencer Thompson. Very glad to have you with us in what is set to be a great game. Moved back a day due to inclement weather. Bowling Green Lancaster is still set to occur tonight, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this matchup plays out. Everyone knows the story behind the Patriots on what happened when they were the number 2 seed in the North, and the question is, are they going to have a magical playoff run just like they did 2 years ago and won it all in the 2017 MTAC Championship? And with the leaders of Andrew Crawley, who was on that championship team as a freshman, looks to lead them to a championship as a junior. And with Emmanuel Dang in the backfield, the question is, how far can this team go? Meanwhile, for Riverside Christian, the only reason they're the number 3 seed in the South is because of losing the powerhouse teams of Ezell Harding and Lancaster Christian Academy. The big question, of course, can Riley Hall and the rest of the seniors for Riverside lead them onto the semi to have a rematch with the Ezell Harding Eagles, their first game of the season? Time to bring in my proud broadcast partner, James Shannon. Welcome back to the playoffs, my friend.
It's good to be back.
You've been in a playoff game for the last several years in a row, and it's going to be special. For the Patriots, we've seen what they did 2 years ago. Of course, last year, unfortunately, going completely winless. It's looking like a cycle that they've had for the last now 5-6 years. Does that cycle continue? And if so, how do they get the victory here that would not be an upset?
Well, I don't know if it's going to continue or not, but Patriots are coming into tonight, obviously at home. They've got the momentum of that, not having to travel, and also, moving it up a day really benefits them too. Just in terms of, being used to playing a Thursday night game. They've played multiple or at least one Thursday night game. Riverside has not, so they kind of know what to do in that system and with that routine. So for Coach Zimmerman and his crew, they know what it takes to get these guys ready. They're coming off a stinging loss last week to Riverside, and so all they want is just a little revenge, and who knows, they might get it tonight.
Riverside, they've only taken 2 losses, and the argument that a lot of people are making is that the South has a lot more strength this year, and that's a reason why the number 1, 2, 3 seeds in the North are potentially going to be eliminated sooner than later in the postseason. So for Riverside Christian, with getting that big victory at home against the Patriots last week, how does that continue when they have the travel and a quick turnaround?
Well, in terms of how to get his players ready for a situation like this, Coach Creasy's been coaching since the Dead Sea was just 6. So he's been around. He knows how to get stuff done. He knows how to motivate the guys. I think he's got them going tonight. But, this is a perfect situation for them to be a dark horse candidate, maybe pull the upset here, and then head to Ezell for a rematch. That's a very interesting situation. But then, like I said, for South Haven, first time ever they'd be playing Ezell. So obviously they don't not only want to advance, but they want to take on the best in the league. One of the best teams in the league, finished number 1 overall. So, that's something they want to keep in mind too.
The question, do the Patriots have the magic that occurs every other year, or do the Riverside Knights as a dark horse, do they dominate the night? The wild card game next between the Patriots and Riverside. playoff atmosphere here in Springfield, Tennessee. The Patriots have not been in a playoff scenario since about a year ago in 2 years ago in 2017 when they traveled down to Bell Buckle to collide with the #1 seed Webb School Feet. And we all know what happened with that one. But now for the first time in the Patriots' history, to my knowledge, they get to host a playoff game here in Springfield. It's going to be special.
The chains are finally here. We're ready for some football.
Yeah, the chains were not laid out, but now they have arrived, and it's time for playoff football, the first of the playoffs, and we've got both of them for you on 8-Man Extreme. Lancaster Bowling Green is tomorrow night. And away we go in the 2019 MTAC football playoffs, and it's an onside kick attempt. And Michael Morris gets it at the 50-yard line. Great, gutsy move by Coach Zimmerman, but great field advantage for the Knights.
Well, something you're going to have to get used to, Spencer. We haven't had it the last few weeks. That's the 40-yard line. They got the 80-yard field here at Martin Luther King Jr. Park, so that's something that Riverside's going to have to get used to, of course, playing on their 100 by 52. But it's just a matter of condensing it down. Actually, it's still the 52, but the length is 80, so it's just something they have to get used to.
On the 54 8-man football as Riverside gets their first offensive play of the playoffs. Right side pitch to Crutcher Rizell. He's got an opening on the right side. Crutcher Rizell diving through to get maybe the first down and stopped short about 2 yards for 2nd and 2.
Well, Crutcher Rizell is having a phenomenal season, and you look at what he was able to do last week against South Haven down in Fayetteville. 2 offensive touchdowns, 13 tackles, and 3 tackles for loss. So, fantastic job by the junior. He's been tearing it up since he was playing JV ball, really.
And a great rush for an 8-yard gain on 2nd and 2. Push through the middle, another rush, and a gain of a first down for Riverside just marching down the field. Well, and that was a good rush by Raymond Hunt.
Well, they're just going to ease into the game here, run the ball here or there, just kind of feel out how that defense reacts to the run. They are a passing team, but they can still run the football, as evidenced by their rushing numbers.
Fantastic rushing stats for Riverside going into the postseason on the 28-yard line. It's a handoff again. Ezel. Crutcher Rizell up the middle for a gain of a few yards, and a lot of great stat lines to look forward to with Riverside, and especially you look at most of their rushing yards. Total, the team has had about 150 yards per game average, but total of a combined 1,228 rushing yards for the full team. So they're a rush-heavy team.
Coming into tonight, Crutcher Rizell, 600 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. He is their leading rusher, but he also is a good receiver.
And a sweep again to the left. That's again Raymond Hunt. Gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 5 yards.
Well, he got swallowed up faster than I put down Thanksgiving dinner by Houston Williford, the senior, who's had a great season as well, coming from that linebacker position.
End of the season, we're 2 weeks out from Thanksgiving. Already thinking about that. Getting into the holiday season. We're now on about a 3rd down and 13, maybe a 3rd and 14. Here's a 3rd down and 14. And it'll be a pass play. David Black looking for the option, right side. The catch is made. Great reception there by
That's Michael Black, his brother.
The brotherly connection there.
I call it the dark connection. The Black. That
and because they're supposedly the dark horse in this tournament, according to the James Shannon Index.
Well, you look at Michael Black. How do you work this fancy thingamajig? Look at Michael Black on the year so far, and he's had 23 catches, 666 yards. That's why his last name is Black, and 10 touchdowns. Now he is his brother's main target as only a sophomore.
Even though they got the gain there, it's 4th and 9. This is a big play for Riverside. Deep toss left side, almost picked off. It could have been a reception by Crutcher Rizell, but great tip at the last second, and it's a turnover on down.
I'll give you one guess who tipped that ball. That's Mr. Manny Ding. Manny Ding is going to have to be on Crutcher Rizell. When Crutcher Rizell comes out as a wide receiver, Manny Ding is going to have to be on Crutcher Rizell like a couple at a homecoming dance. All night long, he's going to have to be right there side by side.
I know you miss your high school days, James, but you don't have to allude to that in your calls.
I'm just pointing out the dance. The dance, you're very close, and that's what Manny Ding is going to have to do with Crutcher Zell tonight to shut him down in terms of being a receiver. Or Michael Black, if Michael Black splits out.
Speaking of the big dance, that's what South Haven won 2 years ago in football as Crawley scrambles. The junior quarterback gets tackled for a loss about 2-3 yards. It's Raymond Hunt on him. But South Haven, they've had a taste of the big dance. They had that in a 3-point win against Christian Community in 2017. Pulled off the major upset in a long time of MTAC championships. But they're facing a 2nd down and 13 here.
Well, they know what like I said, Coach Zimmerman knows what it takes to get there. His first year here at South Haven, they were able to do that. Struggled last year, a little bit of rebuilding mode. This year, they've struggled as well. But hey, guess what? It doesn't matter how you make it as long as you make it.
Crawley, deep toss intended for Atkinson. The catch is made. He's covered by Sammy Morris. Can't bring him down. How about that? Drew Atkinson, his first touchdown of the playoffs. The Patriots strike first.
I think a flag comes down on that play, the way that Atkinson backed into the end zone. But that doesn't negate the great pass from Crawley right on the money and the job that Atkinson did going up, getting that ball, and breaking the tackle of one of the best seniors Riverside has on its team right now, Sammy Morris. Morris just too high because could not bring him down. Atkinson did a great job of ducking below and pulling free.
So no penalty flag on the field called for that, but the Patriots get the must-needed first touchdown in this wild card game with 8:33 left to go in the first. So now a 2-point conversion attempt as Patriots don't have a kicker, and toss across the middle is incomplete.
Well, they do, but they want to jump out and try to get that 8-point lead, which didn't happen just now.
And the 2-point conversion attempt is no good. So with 8:33 left to go in the first, there's a flag. It's rolled roughing the passer on the defense, and we get another 2-point conversion attempt. There we go. Catches the microphone there. It's on right now, but just didn't get the call with it. So now 8:33 left to go in the first. A two-point conversion attempt, some new life for the Patriots as they move it just a little bit closer. Crawley gets the toss over, incomplete. So with 8:33 left to go in the first, the Patriots strike first blood in the playoffs. The MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets, but it's turned over. The Patriots get the onside kick recovery.
Hey, that's the gamble you take whenever you have an onside kick. You could give the other opponent great field position, and I messed up with the camera a little bit there. You could give them great field position, but at the same time, you could give yourself the ball back after scoring.
Turn there, and yeah, it went
up
10 yards.
Barely.
That is exactly what South Haven needs. We'll get to the sponsor adverts in just a little bit since it's now a new offensive drive. Didn't expect that. Crawley scrambles, can't stay on his feet. Loss of 2 yards on the play.
Well, and that pressure that Riverside's going to bring all night, that's something South Haven is going to have to adjust to and really step it up. You know, you got guys like Eric Sorto on the line. They could throw Estevan Covington in there, which they might have him in there. Try to get a better look at yeah, he is in there.
Covington, another one of the many seniors. Sorry, James. one of the many seniors that South Haven has. And they've got a lot of juniors too, so youth especially for the Patriots. But seniors have something bigger on their mind. Is Crawley across the middle. It's a handoff. That was a handoff to Lopez and back to the line of scrimmage for 3rd and 12.
That was a good look by number 55, John Knotts, coming in and meeting Lopez in the backfield. Actually right at the line of scrimmage. So it puts the Patriots in a 3rd and long situation. They're behind the chains. Got to have something here.
Of course, Andrew Crawley, a junior this year. He's got one more year of 8-man football for his high school career. He's a freshman when that MTAC championship team won in 2017. He played a few snaps in that one too, and looking to try and claim a trophy of his own as one of the team leaders. And flags thrown. We'll get the call from Larry Tidwell.
Their ball. Delay a game on the offense. Replay 3rd down.
So delay a game on the offense. He's heading back a few yards. So move that back for a 3rd down and 17. This is another one of those situations where the Patriots have to get something going, especially with that brilliant onside kick execution. It's a flea flicker. Tossed by Dang. Incomplete. Intended for Crawley.
Well, that play was drawn up perfectly. Crawley was all by himself. Little defender trailing on the backside, but Dang just barely overthrowing. But a great play design and play call by Michael Crawley, the offensive coordinator.
He's seen a lot of decent championships with the Patriots as well. I believe was I believe he was the head coach when they went to the national championship in 2015.
No, that was a different guy. He took over in 2016 and then stepped back to assistant coach in 17 when Coach Zimmerman came.
Punt away by Alex Martinez, and Riverside will take over about the 24-yard line. But Coach Michael Crawley, he was a head coach in 2016. They had a losing season that year, unfortunately. But 2015, they went all the way to the national championship and lost in that game. And then 2017, they turned it around.
Coach Brandon Gonzalez, the head coach in 2015, they went completely undefeated all the way until the national championship game. And they just barely lost by 2 points to Life Academy out of Bakersfield, California.
So now on a 1st and 10, Crutcher-Rizal, gain of 3 yards in the play for 2nd and 7.
It's going to be a solid tackle by Willowford, again, the senior. He's going to have a very productive 9 overall if South Haven's going to have a chance here on defense. You look at Willowford on the year so far, and he's had solid production.
2nd down and 6. A little bit of movement, and that'll draw for a false start. So move it back 5 yards, and his microphone was on, but it was off on there. Let's make that 2nd down and 11. Second and 11. The handoff up the middle. About 4 South Haven players surrounding Raymond Hunt. Nothing doing. So about 3rd down and 6. Riverside in a tough situation here.
Well, offense getting a little slow to get going. They need something here.
And the catch is made. Catch is made by Riverside's Michael Black. He gets the catch, and they move the chains.
Well, that's a 1st down. That's a step in the right direction if you can start converting those, keeping your drives alive. Just eat the clock up.
First and 10 on the 35-yard line. Toss across. The catch is made. The connection between the Black brothers. How about the sophomore turning on the Jets in the playoffs to the end zone touchdown? Riverside gets their first score of the playoffs.
These defensive backs struggling to bring down the receivers, and a great job by Michael Black there on the play. Able to snag the ball and then break the tackle. He hit the outside corner right there. He was actually coming inside, broke the tackle, bounced outside along the sideline, and right there couldn't bring him down. Great touchdown for Riverside. It's a big momentum builder.
Looks like Drew Atkinson couldn't make the tackle. Tried to wrap up there, but now it is tied, and the chance for Riverside to take the lead here on the two-point conversion attempt. And on the road, here's the two-pointer. Belsky across, the incompletion, almost a catch by Sammy Morris. So the two-point conversion attempt, no good. It's tied up at 6. This MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. About 4:56 left to go in the first. Deep kick back and muffed by Deng. Picks it back up in the end zone, muffs it again, and they rule it a touchback.
That's a big break for South Haven.
Oh, yeah.
Riverside was closing in on Deng. And for them to get to keep the ball there at the 15-yard line, it's a big break.
South Haven's offense, they've had some really interesting stats going throughout the year. Coming into this playoff game, of course, their record 3-4, 2-3 in conference, or at least as in the district per Max Preps. But their offense, Crawley has had 857 passing yards going into this game. He's been a powerhouse for them, as has Emmanuel Deng as he gets a rush to the outside, staying on his feet, tripped up at about the 23-yard line.
Putting Riverside on a spin cycle there for a second. A couple great moves by the junior.
There is a flag, though. Get the call from Larry Tidwell. He's done several of our broadcasts here from South Haven throughout the past few weeks. And we'll get the call from him.
We'll get a chop block on South Haven.
13.
So now the mic is on that penalty called on Riverside's O'Neill. It's a chop block, and it's half the distance to the goal on that penalty. Here's a first down again. Crawley scrambling in the end zone. Gets a deep toss across the middle. Almost could have pulled it in if he had been a little bit forward. That's Drew Atkinson trying to make the reception at about the 38-yard line.
Michael Black on the coverage. He leads the league with 8 interceptions. Young man's having a great season. And Crawley, again, having to pick the ball up off the ground. Having to pick the ball up off the ground. They need to get those snaps up a little bit. They can't keep dealing with that all night.
And they're in a tough situation for second down, and with it being half the distance. About second down and 17, but Crawley was in the back of the end zone there trying to get the pass off and just barely managed to get it
He's
out.
standing on the goal line right now.
Crawley again. He's being pressured by Hall, and it's intercepted. A touchdown for Riverside. You talk about one of the big things that the Knights needed, and now they've got the lead.
Crutcher, Ezel. I don't know why you run a screen pass right there down near your goal line, but Crutcher, Ezel sitting on the play just right. Ball gets tipped, and he's the it's like Christmas time for him right there. Tip, bam, sitting right there, right under the pass, able to snag it and take it in for a Riverside lead.
How about Riley Hall with the pressure on that play, too, to get a quick decision like that?
Well, it was a great move. Like I said earlier, Riverside's going to bring pressure on South Haven. South Haven's got to respond with some of these senior linemen.
2-point conversion attempt to make it a 14-6 game. Toss across. The catch is made by Raymond Hunt, and the 2-point conversion is good. 14-6. Riverside gets a big interception. The Knights are on top still in the first. .426 left to go in the first. The Riverside Knights got a great interception, needed to keep the pressure on. And we were seeing Riley Hall do some practice kicks before the game and looking great in form. We'll see if he can get another deep kick going here. And he does. Back to Emmanuel Deng, and doesn't muff it this time. Emmanuel Deng, we've seen what's happened on kickoff returns before. Emmanuel Deng reaving through that defense. How about stepping up? Michael Whidden trying to chase him down, gets past the tackle, and Emmanuel Deng is stopped out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. But how about that great field advantage for the Patriots?
Well, Riley Hall brings it every time on the kickoffs, but Manny Deng, just give him the ball, and he's going to be able to break one loose. We knew it would happen at some point tonight. Whidden, a great job to close in on him.
And knees down, there is a player down for Riverside. Trying to tell who it is from the distance here. But injury timeout here in Springfield. About 4:13 left to go in the first. Riverside up 14-6. And brought down in the backfield. Big move. Manny Dang trying to get the rush up the middle and a loss of about 2-3 yards on the play. Second down and 13. James just stepping aside temporarily. He'll be back in a moment. And I think we still got James on headset, but just a big play for Riverside to get him back, especially after that big kickoff return.
Well, again, Riverside's going to bring the pressure all night long.
There's a second down and 12 is where they're going to spot it. Crawley's got two men with him in the backfield. Crawley looking for the option. He's got a toss across the right side. The catch is made. First down and a little bit more, unless is there a pick? Rule the first down and 10. Great reception by Sordo. Sordo making the catch.
First down.
That's good. That's all right.
Your boy is back.
Officially back, at least. Here's a 1st and 10 for South Haven on the just outside of the 10-yard line, but in the red zone. Handoff, left side. There goes Houston Williford. Gain of about 5.
South Haven needs to punch it in here. I mean, that's obvious, but South Haven needs to punch it in here.
So time winding down in the first, about 2:30 left. Second down and 5. 2 minutes left to go in the first as the Riverside defense gets over and see if we can get the call for Tidwell.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense. Replay second down.
So 2:01 left to go in the first as the South Haven offense gets a lucky break there. Second and 2. So run up the middle, push through, and the ball is fumbled. It's a touchback. Unless is he down by contact, waiting for a signal.
He was down.
Is that? We're waiting on a signal, official signal
Well,
there.
if they're smart, they're going to do the smart thing. They're going to conference and they're going to talk about this and not make a rash call.
Let's see.
This isn't going to be like the Packers Seahawks game where you have officials making 2 different calls. They're going to conference.
It's ruled a touchdown. Manny Deng got in.
Well, let's watch it one more time. And the question is, where's the goal line? Because it's hard to see with these lights.
Right there.
Yep, he's in. He's in. Ball across the plane.
Smart move by the officials to confer on that and make sure they get the right call.
Yeah, because you have several different points of view. You got to bring them together and discuss it, and that's exactly what they did. Great job by these officials.
And now a crucial 2-point conversion attempt for South Haven to tie it up at 14. Missed their first 2-point conversion attempt of the game.
Well, making it here would make it interesting. It'd bring it back to a 0-0 game, an even ball game.
Crawley looking for the option across the middle, incomplete to Manny Dang. Make that 0 for 2 on 2-point conversion attempts.
Hey, Dang laid out for that one.
14-12, this MTAC Wildcard playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Miner Homes. Visit chuckminerhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. We apologize for that. We just missed the kickoff by South Haven. Riverside recovers it at the 36-yard line, so the Knights get back to work.
That might help if I bring my mic back down. Well, that's a big break for the Knights. Get back on offense, especially after, the iffy situation down here. A great call. Great job executing that. But they get the ball back.
See how Riverside can respond. They're still leading by 2, so not anything to worry about too much. Quarterback keep for maybe a loss of a yard or back to the line of scrimmage, second down.
See, and that's something that Riverside can bring. They usually wait till the end of the game and use him as their closer, but that's something that Riverside can bring out as Jay Krubelski at quarterback, and he gives them a great rushing option for when they want to give Mike David Black a break, or just use a different scheme, and that way the opponent has to plan for both schemes. That's something that they can pull out of their back pocket.
60 seconds left to go in the first as Zimmerman trying to coordinate that defense. Stop the Knights here on 2nd and 10. Across the middle, the catch is made. Sammy Morris. Sammy Morris cutting inside, gets the first down and a little bit more. Called for forward progress at the 33-yard line, and a big 1st and 10 for the Knights.
Boy, that was close. I'm not 100% sure he got that time. He got that first down, but they're going to move the chains, and that's huge for Riverside. Got to get at least one more play off before the first quarter's over.
Riverside, of course, with their offensive stats, they've been fantastic throughout the year. Gotten some pretty decent things going down, and 27 seconds winding down. So now 1st and 10, likely going to be the last play of the first quarter. 15 seconds. Quick toss, left to Morris. Sammy Morris trying to cut to the outside. Sammy Morris down the sideline, stays in bounds, touchdown, Riverside.
And a great job tiptoeing the sidelines. Said they were going to get one more play before the end of the quarter. Well, they got one, and they made it count. Both these teams do have kickers. At some point, you wonder if it'll become an extra point game. But right now, both these teams want the 2 points. But Sammy Morris, the senior, has absolutely exploded this season and given Riverside another weapon. Of course, they had all the guys they had last year, and Morris didn't do a ton. They did have John Trahan, so then you lose Trahan, and Morris just stepped right up into that position, filling that gap in for him.
And a 2-point conversion attempt for Riverside to get a lead by 10. And waiting for the call. It's good.
Oh, did
he?
Good. Wow.
22-12. Riverside takes a 2-score lead already here in Springfield. 4 seconds left in the first, and clock will run down with the attempted return by Dang. Tiptoeing the sidelines, staying as time expires. He's ruled out of bounds at the 27-yard line, but Emmanuel Dang is just giving the Patriots more and more positions and more hype to try and get them back in this game.
Well, that was a solid lick by Riley Hall, the senior, on the kickoff cover. He kicked it off, and then he laid the wood to Dang to stop the return and end the first quarter.
End of the first quarter. This MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business. Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Start of the second quarter, 22-12. Riverside has a 2-possession lead here at Martin Luther King Jr. Park at Springfield in the MTAC Wildcard Playoff. Had broken up at the last second. Michael Black managed to prevent Atkinson from making the catch.
Black a great job to get his hands in there. Atkinson's already had a touchdown on the night. And Michael Black, a great job to break it up without drawing any kind of pass interference call.
Spencer Thompson and James Shannon proud to bring you this MTAC playoff game here from Springfield. It's one of two we'll be covering this weekend. Tomorrow, Bowling Green and Lancaster play in what's set to be a very stormy night in Smyrna. Going to play through that rain, and we'll be in the press box for that one. As the Riverside line stuffs, it's like they stuffed Drew Atkinson for a loss of a yard.
And Dang checking back in, off for that play. But bringing him back in on third down, it's what they need. They need all their weapons on the field right now because this is a big turning point, at least for the first half. Down by two scores, down by 10. You need to convert this to keep this drive alive.
So again, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, Michael Crawley, led them to a national championship back in 2015. Catch is made. Right side, Emmanuel Dang turning on the Jets. Finally stopped out of bounds. A big move by Michael Black, but Emmanuel Dang gets the first down for South Haven.
Well, Crawley might have been on the staff, but he wasn't the head coach. Brandon Gonzalez was the head coach. He had been a long-time assistant as well. Patriots had about 3 coaches in 3 years, and the first 2 coaches, the first 2, really great guys. Took them to some state championships. Gonzalez took them unbeaten, took them to the Nationals. So they do have a long history of successful coaching. I mean, they won three state championships in 4 years.
And looking to potentially get another state championship here. First things first, they gotta get back in the lead. Here's right side rush by Houston Williford. Trying to push through, is brought down from behind by Crutcher Rizal. Loss of 3.
Well, Rizal got on that Bronco, and he wasn't getting off. He took the ride of his life and just hung with him. And eventually he got help to bring him down, but he was the initial contact on the play. And you're going to see him like that on offense and defense. Both sides of the ball, he's going to bring it every play.
On about a 2nd down and 13. Crawley just hands it off to rush up the middle. That's Lopez.
Big old John Knotts at nose tackle, just completely shutting down that Patriots rushing attack up the middle. Nothing doing.
So So about a 3rd down and 16 with the loss. Patriots trying to get something going. They may give it back to Emmanuel Deng. Managed to keep the drive alive in their last 3rd and long situation.
A lot longer situation here, an extra maybe 4 or 5 yards. They're going to need something.
They got Dang out to the right. Covered by Morris. Crawley looking for the option. Tries to get it to Dang. Trying to dive back, but can't make the catch. Just underthrown, and now a 4th and 16.
Well, then I think they're going to end up punting it away in this situation. You don't want to give Riverside the ball in your end of the field. And they are bringing the punt team on.
Especially at midfield.
I think it's the punt team. No, it might. No, Crawley's still out there. No, it is the punt team. It's Martinez out there to put the ball in Riverside territory. Michael Black, well, I wouldn't say he's back deep to get the punt.
Punted away and just bouncing down to about the 5-6 yard line.
Great job by Martinez. They just pinned South Haven inside the 5, inside the 10. They're going to make this a tough road for Riverside to really jump out to a three-score lead.
And even 9 minutes left to go in the second as Riverside trying to punch another score in. And timeout called by Riverside. The MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com.
Yeah.
9 minutes left to go in the second. After the timeout, Riverside regrouping and trying to get another score on the board. There's a rush up the middle. Spins out for a gain of 2 yards. That is Riverside's Crutcher Rizell.
Well, the Knights are in no rush right now. You've got to control the ball game. You just have to work the ball, work the field, work the clock, work the chains. And just grind the Patriots down at this point.
So now on a 2nd down and 6. David Black looking for his options, tosses it back to Ezel. Crutcher Ezel, right side, gets the first down a little bit more, dives for the gain, and spotted at the 27-yard line, moving the chains for a 1st and 10.
Great run by Ezel, and all he had to do was get that corner, head up the sidelines. He got cut off before he could really break free, but he broke just enough. Give the Knights a new set of downs with just over 8 minutes to go. Just wind that clock down. Patriots get the ball after halftime. If you can score here and kill a ton of clock, that is what's ideal right now.
Yeah, for Riverside, we've seen this situation before where they've just tried to control the tempo of the game. Backfired on them in some cases, but here it's a toss to the right side. How about that connection to his brother, Michael Black? End zone touchdown for the Knights.
Well, he's had that connection 10 times this season. Number 11 right there, and it's never done him wrong. The dark connection. And you're going to see Black get behind Atkinson right here. Atkinson just turns a little too late. Black's got speed on him. Bam, he's gone.
You talk about not being in a rush and to try and do time management. That's the big question of if they were meaning to score early there.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't wind clock down, you take a 3-score lead right here. You put the pressure on South Haven even more. for them to try to, score within a decent amount of time and get the ball back possibly, so that when you come out of halftime, you're only down by 1.
And a handoff to Crutcher, dives towards the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. 30-12 already. The number 3 seed in the South looking a little bit stronger than the number 2 seed. Manuel Dang back to receive again. Riverside is trying to run away with it here in this MTAC playoff game. Caught at the goal line, but ruled a touchback. Looks like he was back in the end zone. Dang unhappy with that.
Boy, he was about to bust one loose. He does not like that. But the rules are the rules. The offense needs to get up and running right now.
And throughout the season, the Patriots have had a decent running offense. I mean, Crawley with 857 passing yards. Manuel Dang, a really decent year on his rushing, 531 rushing yards, leads the team. Closest is Crawley with about 286. So they've had a decent year on offense. Now we'll see if that offense can do anything here. Crawley, deep toss to the left to Emmanuel Dang, overthrown.
He just lost track of it, trying to find it over his shoulder. He almost would have been better off turning around and backpedaling and letting the ball come to him. Great coverage there on the play by Michael Black.
And you look at Riverside's defense as well. You've got guys who led the team. Crutcher leading the team with 86 tackles. Behind him at 67, Riley Hall. It's their defense. That's what has mostly been the conversation this year for Riverside, is their defense is their strength. Second and 10. Crawley feeling out his options. Hand off to Dang. The Riverside defense immediately read that, and Riley Hall is the senior pulling him down.
Well, again, South Haven's struggling with those snaps. Crawley had to pick that ball up off the ground, and for every snap that's on the ground, that just kills the timing of the play. Plays are snap, snap, snap. You take a split second just to have to pick up the ball and not have it straight to you and turn and give it, and that completely throws off the timing, and it allows the defense just a split second more to get in that backfield.
So now 7:20 and winding down. The Patriots are facing a 3rd and 11, down by a score of 18 points. So Emmanuel Dang cuts out his defenders, immediately met.
Whitten had him all the way.
Yeah, Mike Whitten not having any of that. It's 4th and 5.
We have a shout out to all 35 of you checking out tonight's ball game.
You're watching a great playoff game at the moment. Only an 18-point game, so it is 3 scores, but South Haven has at least kept themselves in it.
Yeah, and you guys don't have to do a split screen tonight with the 2 playoff games. You got this one tonight, and then, of course, Bowling Green at Lancaster tomorrow. Broadcast will start about 5:45.
Punted away, and that'll go out of bounds. They'll spot it for the Knights at the 33-yard line. So Riverside, chance to go a 4-score game here and basically run away with it at that point.
Well, they could be like a wife in the first year of marriage, just really take control of the game right now.
About 6:31 left to go in second.
And great field position for the Knights right now. Really, I mean, if you look at the kind of throws that Black has had, even just on this last drive, he could literally just take a shot at the end zone right now, which he doesn't need to. I mean, 6.5 minutes left.
Time management, the name of the game. The handoff. That's to, looks like Crutcher-Rizal again. Rush of 2-3 yards in the play, second down.
Well, that's all you need. You just need to kill this clock, get it to halftime, and then, you know, they're up by 18. So, I mean, you still have to have a few more scores to, you know, hit the mercy rule and pull away. But if you're South Haven, you're not out of this ball game at this point at all.
And there's a reason they've been the number 2 seed. There's the same pattern they had back in 2017. Their only loss was to Christian Community in their divisional game. But, of course, during that 2017 year, they didn't lose to any South teams either. Incomplete pass across the middle intended for Sammy Morris.
Well, and Morris has been pretty consistent all year, but just not able to haul in that pass from Black. And I don't know about throwing the ball in that situation. I think you run it, and I think you just continue to grind that Patriots defense down to a point where you know.
So 3rd down and 6, Riverside again. Just they're trying to run the clock down, but incomplete pass there. We'll see what Matt O'Neill, the offensive coordinator for Riverside, can cook up on this one. And there's a toss over. That's to Raymond Hunt. He's going to get the first down and more. The reception to about the 9-yard line and a 1st and goal for Riverside.
Great execution on that screen pass. You're going to see the lineman release just barely, and Hunt there in the backfield behind Black. He's going to shoot up and just sit. Bam. Perfect execution on the snap screen pass.
Make that about 5:15 left to go as Riverside trying to pop another score in here on a 1st and goal. Black looking for options across the middle. End zone touchdown to his brother Michael Black, the sophomore, having a stellar performance in the playoffs.
12 touchdowns on the season now. And Black has absolutely hit his groove. You look at him throughout the season, David Black, that is.
You look at that catch, just incredible.
David Black with 29 touchdown passes coming into tonight's game, now sitting at about 32. The senior bouncing back from a broken collarbone last year, absolutely tearing it up.
And 2-point conversion attempt, the rush on the left side. How about another 2 for Crutcher-Rizal? 38-12. It is now a 26-point lead for Riverside. Five minutes even left to go in the second. It's a 26-point lead already for Riverside. And that's a nice low drive kick. Weaving through is Drew Atkinson, getting to the 37-yard line. And just want to remind you that this MTAC Wildcard playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is Sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Miner Homes. Visit chuckminerhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. And how about a tough situation here for the Patriots? They have to get a score on this offensive drive. And if there's anything else that could go bad for the Patriots, it's that. Another pick six for Riverside. And who else than Crutcher Rizal?
Second pick six on the night. And this one, a screen pass again, and he just sits on it. Just does a great job of waiting out. He knows what it is. Bam, just sat on it. And once he got the ball, there was no stopping him.
You could see Coach Greasy on the sideline hyped on that one, too.
If you're Ezell Harding right now, you're watching this ball game, and you know that, hey, this is a different ball team, and the other ball team had you tied at 30 at the beginning of the fourth. So you definitely have to treat them with respect.
And again, Riverside Ezell, that was back in August when they played. First game of the regular season for either of them. As the toss is on the left side and ruled down by contact. The two-point conversion is no good, so the defense does get a stop there for South Haven, but now a 32-point lead. South Haven in a tough spot right now in this playoff game. And ball goes.
They're going to say went out of the end zone. Give him the touchback.
So make that still 4:43 left to go. And the Patriots, this is one of those situations you have to score here.
You know, Mandy Dang wanted that one. He wanted to try to take that one to the house. Just did not work out for the young man. We've seen how dangerous he can be as a returner, though, and Riley Hall is doing everything in his power to avoid that. Hall's got some aim with his kicks. He can put them where he wants, and he's doing exactly that tonight.
So now a 1st and 10 for the Patriots offense, down by 32, trying to get it going. There's a handoff up the middle, and clock continues to run.
Cough button. Manual cough button.
I mean, this one is manual. It's not a cough button, but it helps.
Yeah, but
Boom.
Boom.
Either that or I just need to have some more water up here in the press box. 2nd down and 8.
Here, you want a water fountain?
No, we'll get some fresh ones from. That should stand.
You can get a fresh one.
We'll get that after we do the.
Save some for the fish, man.
Incomplete.
In and out of his hands and just not able to haul it in. You need a water fountain this water. Yeah, water fountain this. In and out of his hands, just not able to bring it in. And if you're South Haven, that's a killer. That's a killer. You need that, but it brings up a big 3rd down. And 3:58 left on the clock. Riverside has definitely pulled away. 32-point lead at this point. 2 quick touchdowns, and now they're only 3 points away from the clock running in the second half in a quarterfinal playoff game.
That should help. Yeah, that should help. Whatever's lodged back there is back down. 3rd down and 8. And we got another penalty on the field. Right now his microphone on. We'll probably hear what it is. We'll hear what it is in just a moment.
Yeah, we go off. Both of his tailbacks, Howard. Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. Replay 3rd down.
I think we got it worked out now.
And we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Trying to make sure all the lovely folks here at Martin Luther King Jr. Park could hear the call as well as you folks at home.
Yep.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in.
And Crawley gets a deep toss and almost a one-handed grab on Michael Black, but
They're gonna call pass interference on this, Spencer, between Morris and Atkinson.
So we got another
Black almost
flag.
with his 9th. Well, see, it could go pass interference, or it could go holding.
We'll have to get the call from Tidwell. It's like he thought he clicked his microphone on, just didn't get it on there, and it's holding call against the defense, so moved up another few yards. See, there we go. Turned on his mic there. So what was a 3rd down and long situation for the Patriots, now on a 3rd down and 4. Third down, Crawley hands it off to Deng. Can he get the first down? Dives for the first down marker. And
I think they're going to mark him short. No, they're going to give it to him.
They move the chains for a first down.
That was close, but Deng just able to find that corner.
The result of the play, it will be a Patriot.
Knocked it into a first down. South Haven needed that, but the clock is running under 4 minutes.
You almost wonder if they try to go hurry up offense here to get a quick score.
No, I think you go ahead and take your time.
And one thing we didn't notice, we got a Patriots player who's got his shoulder pads off. He's getting looked at on his left shoulder. So couldn't tell which one had taken off, but a shift there goes to Emmanuel Deng, just a shovel pass left side, and to about the 28-yard line, the clock continues to run.
Great job by that Riverside defense, closing in on the wide play, absolutely shutting them down.
So now facing a 2nd down and 6. Make that where they mark it on the 28-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 7. And looks like we got time called on the field. Riverside calls a timeout with about 2:25 left to go. It's a 32-point lead. So we got word up here in the press box that Alex Martinez is the player on the sideline. Deep toss, left side, incomplete. There is a flag down. Looks like they're going to get Sammy Morris here on pass interference. See if we can get the call from Tidwell.
From the previous, Gary. Hey,
So it'll be from
find
the
out if he
previous
wants
spot.
3rd down or if he wants to push them back.
So talking with Coach Creasy to see what they want to do. So it's going to be a pass interference on the offense, it looks like.
Pass interference on the offense. Replay, second down.
Looked like Zimmerman not happy with that one, and flag called on the sideline. So sideline warning given on the bench of South Haven there. So about 2:19 left to go in the second. They'll move it back here for another bit of yardage there. Just the frustration continuing for the Patriots. Make that about a 2nd down and 20.
Oh, that's a tough break for South Haven.
Crawley scrambles, deep toss intended for Atkinson again, and a flag thrown.
That one is going to be defensive.
They're going to call. It's most likely they're going to call that one on Riverside. South Haven gets another break there. See if we can get the call from Tidwell.
Pass interference on the defense. Replay, second down.
So at least a lucky break there for South Haven after the unfortunate break. So it's moved up to the 29-yard line. Crawley, deep toss left side to Emmanuel Dang. He's almost on target. Dang, if he had stretched out his arms, he may have been able to make the diving catch, but make that a 3rd down.
Well, and Riverside knows who South Haven's main playmaker is right now, and they're doing a great job of shutting down Dang. And not only that, but putting pressure on Crawley and making him go to his secondary guys like Atkinson, who has scored tonight. But South Haven needs some more weapons to step up.
Make that about 2:09. Winding down. Star Physical Therapy halftime report coming up. We'll give our analysis of the opener for the playoffs and talk about what we've seen so far. Emmanuel Dang can't make the catch. Almost intercepted by Michael Black. Lucky break, and Michael Black almost had the 3rd interception for the Riverside Knights.
Black went down hard, but great coverage on Dang. In South Haven, you got to go for it here. 2 minutes to go. Down by 32. Yeah, you got to go for it here, especially since it looks like Martinez is the one on the sidelines.
Sidelines?
Sidelines.
There you go.
Sidelines. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with sidelines. It's pretty cool, but officials timeout.
We're going to have officials timeout. They're going to pull Michael Black off the field.
It's probably something that they're going through a concussion protocol with Michael Black.
So it looks like
good job by the officials, and they're pulling in Marcus Whitworth.
Whitworth has been with the team for a long time too, so be interested to see what the young man brings to the table.
Good job by the officials to catch that,
on a big 4th down situation for South Haven.
About 2:04 left to go in the first half. And the officials, looks like they're still conferring. Yep, timeout call by the officials. Coach Tidwell just trying to.
Coach Tidwell.
Yeah, hey, he might have been a coach at some point. I don't know.
You
might have been a coach at some point.
Bro, you need a Red Bull or something.
Hey, he's coaching the officials, so I mean, he's helping.
And they're looking at the young man.
It might be Creasy was having a question of why Michael Black was taken off. Probably just giving an explanation on that. And just making sure that everything's right with him. Coach Creasy just making sure.
Well, he's one of your biggest playmakers, but you also want to be careful with the young man and not do anything to put his future in jeopardy. Only a sophomore.
Got 2 more years of football after this one. Again, if Riverside can get the W here, they're moving on to Ezel. But if Patriots can get 32-plus points, they'll be moving on. And movement there will.
Penalty markers on the field.
Another flag.
Encroachment on the defense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Still remaining. 4th down.
So about 1:50 and winding down left to go in first half. It's now a 4th down and 2, so the Patriots caught 2 lucky breaks there and trying to convert it here. Crawley, another deep toss to Dang, trying to get the catch, and it's incomplete.
Good coverage there by Morris. I mean, it was a 50-50 ball. Dang trying to go up for it, just couldn't haul it in.
So now Riverside takes over on downs with 1:33. So about 1:33 left to go in the second. Again, Star Physical Therapy halftime report coming up. We'll give our analysis of the first half, preview how this playoff matchup has gone thus far, and maybe give a little preview to Lancaster Bowling Green tomorrow. It's all coming up on the Star Physical Therapy halftime report. Well, at least the James Shannon Index would have predicted a start like this for Riverside on the road.
Well, I did predict a start like this on the road.
You didn't predict scores, but talking about first half start.
Yeah, but I said it'd be a big win by Riverside.
That's true. It's not over yet, but at least the first half.
So you were on a podcast on Monday. What was the score prediction for that?
I forget what Thompson's prediction was for
What
it.
a terrible
I think
guess.
he said by 20 points.
Not even paying attention.
Pretty sure he said by a 20-point margin.
Where did you go to how to be on a podcast class?
I listened to his questions. I didn't listen to
Nah, you got to listen to the whole thing. Sometimes they wrap a question up in a statement.
But I'm pretty sure he had Riverside winning by 20. Pitch. Crutcher Ezel, left side. He's got blockers. He's got some openness on the outside. Crutcher Ezel steps out of bounds just short of the first down.
Well, and out of bounds stops the clock. If you're Riverside, you don't want that. You want to go ahead and end this thing early.
Let's make that a 7.
Or earlier than if it was drug out.
About a 7 or 6 yard gain for third down. So about minute 16. You know, you're right about Ezel Harding. I'm sure that they're watching this game. You look at how this Riverside team has changed so much since that opener on the road in August. It's pretty impactful the change, and this is a team that to be reckoned with in the playoffs. Scramble here by David Black, looking for the pass. He finds it, can't make the catch. Incomplete.
Well, and to be fair, Ezel Harding's not the same team that they were the first game of the year either. They've developed and matured. We saw that in the Battle of the Bell. We saw that in the Evangel game. As the year's gone on, they've progressed. And so, you know, it's not just Riverside bringing all they've got to the table. Ezel's bringing all they've got to the table too. And they've had equal opportunities to scout each other.
So now a 4th down and 4. See if Riverside, they can't run out the ball here to try and wind down the clock unless they get a first down. Here's Black. He's got pressure. Stiff arm. How about staying on his feet? Loses the football, and the Patriots get it. Drew Atkinson gets the fumble recovery.
Fantastic call by the officials, watching very closely to see if Black's arm moved. We'll see this replay. I don't think it was. I think his arm came out, but the ball was knocked loose, and a great call by the officials. Let's see what we've got. Yep, not going forward. Arm was coming out, but it was not going forward. Great call. They're on top of it. This is a top-notch crew.
especially for the playoffs.
This crew knows what they're doing, and I've been critical of Tidwell at times, but he does know what he's doing.
And whistle blown. It's a timeout called by Riverside. About 57 seconds left before the end of the first half. .57 seconds left before the end of the first half. It's been a well-officiated game. Larry Tidwell, the referee in the backfield. Toss, the catch is made by Atkinson. Gets the best of his man. How about Drew Atkinson to the outside? Steps out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Great awareness with 49 seconds left.
Well, he's been their weapon, one of their main weapons tonight with Riverside homing in on Emmanuel Ding. But a great job by Whitworth to close in on that Riverside defense, completely closed in on Atkinson. Weren't going to allow him to pick up a whole lot of extras.
Larry Tidwell, the referee, back Gary Nicholson, the umpire. We got Howard Chamel's line judge, back judge, Andrew Johnson, Odell Bradley as the headlinesman, and Josh Chote as the clock operator. Class officials from Ronnie Perkins for this MTAC playoff game. As Crawley gets the toss to the right side, hit off of the shoulder pad of Michael Morris, incomplete.
Great coverage there by Riverside Christian. Crawley has come out running and gunning on this set of plays, and if he can keep it up, then maybe he can put a spark back in this offense with 43 seconds left in the half.
It's now about a 2nd down and 10. South Haven knocking on the door of the red zone. Especially being down by 32, that's exactly where they want to be. Dang in the backfield. Crawley looking for the option, gets it out to Dang, a high pass, and Dang had to get up there for it, but he's got an opening on the outside, gets to the end zone, touchdown, South Haven.
Manny Dang showing up when he needs to. And we got some flags.
Do have flags on the field, so we'll see what the call is. Hopefully this won't be called back. Talking to Zimmerman, and
this is going to be on Riverside.
So it looks like they will assess that on the kickoff. There's the microphone on again, so you just got it reversed.
I'd be curious what situation led to the unsportsmanlike. Possibly Zell getting a little emotional about the play. Not 100% sure again, so not going to make assumptions.
And 2-point conversion attempt. Crawley trying to sneak through, make that 0 for 3 on 2-point conversion attempts.
That was a grown man tackle by Michael Whidden.
34 seconds left. The Patriots keeping it interesting. So here we go, back after that, and
after the unsportsmanlike ball gets moved up 15 yards, so typically they kick off from the 30. On an 80-yard field, it gets moved up to the opponent's 35. That's a big break for South Haven.
And Riverside, we may just see them go into let's get to halftime mode, just kneeing it, and caught at the 16-yard line. Quick reaction by Will O'Neill, the freshman.
Looks like a soccer goalie on the play. Ball right on the ground, just able to slide and grab it. You can appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. I remember those days.
What were you, second string practice squad goalie?
Until my senior year, yeah. That was until my senior year, but senior year got to start because
it's all right. I was third string bench warmer.
Yeah.
Hi, we like to be rougher than a pine cone toilet seat. I mean.
So now 1st and 10 for Riverside. Looks like they may just go into the kneel-down formation, try to get it.
I think Black's going to kneel it down from a shotgun formation to make sure he stays protected.
Yep. That'll close out the first half, and what a start on the road for Riverside in the playoff game. Through 2 quarters as the clock winds down. Looks like they're gonna head to the sides of the field for halftime. 44-18, the number 3 seed in the South is getting the best of the number 2 seed in the North. And Star Physical Therapy halftime report is coming up in just a moment, about 30 seconds. 44-18, Knights lead the Patriots.
The Riverside Christian Academy Knights 44.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Star Physical Therapy Halftime Report. I'm Spencer Thompson. We'll get the Star logo. There we go. James Shannon had to step aside for halftime, just a little bit caught up, but 44-18 is the score right now. The Patriots down at home. They have not made a 2-point conversion thus far, but Riverside has just come out swinging. It's been absolutely fantastic for Riverside on the road, and it's per the James Shannon Index, it's been an up year for the South. It's clearly shown from tonight and clearly shows that Riverside, they've come into this playoff to play. They are ready to travel to Ezel Harding next week and potentially shake up things in the playoffs, but it's a tough opponent against the Ezel Harding Eagles. Meanwhile, for South Haven, again, they were the number 2 seed in 2017 who ended up winning the MTAC championship and upsetting Christian Community. Different story here. They're the number 2 seed, but they've only gotten 3 touchdowns. So the big question is, how is South Haven going to make it back from this? Of course, Jason Zimmerman, Michael Crawley, they're going to talk about that in the halftime locker room. Normally, I'd have James here analyzing and telling you exactly what's supposed to happen, but I leave the analysis to James and or Isaiah Austin, any of those guys. Tomorrow night, at least, Isaiah and I will have the call from Smyrna for the Lancaster Christian Academy Knights, the number 2 seed in the South, only because of their tough loss to the Ezel Harding Eagles last week on Friday. That game starting at 6 p.m. will be live at about 5:45 from Smyrna Middle School. Likely to be a rainy game. Isaiah and I will have the call on that to determine who's traveling to White House to face off against the Christian Community School Colts, awaiting the winner of that game tomorrow night. So that's going to wrap it up for the Star Physical Therapy halftime report. About 13 minutes until we get back. You're watching this MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com. Welcome to the start of the second half of this MTAC Wildcard Playoff game. 44-18, Riverside is running away with it here in Springfield. Spencer Thompson and James Shannon proud to bring you this playoff game as Manuel Dang receives it from the backfield. The right side, he's weaving through, brought down finally by the Riverside defense, and brought down by Michael Whidden. And the story of the half has really been just Riverside's defense being dominant and holding the Patriots to not that many points.
Well, it's them being polished, and not a lot of mistakes for Riverside, honestly. I mean, a few here and there, a couple things that they could clean up, but in terms of just overall gameplay, I think it's been a very clean game for the Knights, and that's something that they're going to have to bring into next week against Ezel Harding if the score holds.
Ezel Harding, again, as we said earlier, I'm sure they're watching.
Now their head coach is here.
Yep, Dustin McGee taking it in as run up the middle attempted by the Patriots. Gain of about 2 yards on the play for 2nd and 8. But yeah, for sure, of course, we know that Coach McGee is here. He's watching the game, and
Oh, my bad. I was playing with a button, all right?
Yeah, but, Coach McGee, of course, he's soaking this in, being able to see what Riverside has done. But if there's one thought that's definitely in Coach McGee's head, it's that this is not the same team we played in August.
No, this is a very polished, very well-oiled team, and they know what to do. David Black has definitely come into his own, and if he can stay mistake, he was having a great first half. Defense had 2 or 3 interceptions on Griffin, but David Black had a couple of turnovers in the second half, and that killed him.
And the catch is incomplete. Just waiting for the signal. Incomplete, intended for Jaden Batson. Now 3rd down and 7.
Like I said, it was tied at 30 in the fourth quarter, and Ezel Harding able to capitalize off some Riverside mistakes, some fumbles, and turn those into points, and a great job by the Eagles there. So, if you're the Knights going into next week, it's not complicated. It's, SIMPLE, like Florida Georgia Line said. You know what you got to do.
South Haven knows what they have to do. They have to score on every drive.
Score and score often.
Especially time management here is what Crawley's got to try to do. Across the middle, the catch is made. How about Emmanuel Dang with that big catch to about the 32-yard line?
You'll see Michael Black there on the backside with the tackle. He's got the concussion shell. They call it the mushroom. And so he's trying to address that issue. But Manny Dang, what a snag over the middle. And Crawley right on the money with the throw. Bam, got him. Great tackle by Black, though. Good job to wrap him up. He wasn't able to wrap up Atkinson on the first South Haven touchdown. Learned his lesson and brought Ding to the ground.
The All-Star Game invitations were officially sent out on Monday. Several players from Riverside and South Haven invited to go to the game, especially with teams making the postseason. Had fantastic years, and hopefully we'll see them all as no gain on the play, back to 2nd and 10.
Patriots, 2nd down.
Yeah, and that All-Star Game is going to be pretty stacked this year with the amount of talent.
Oh, you mean the 2019 Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game?
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Chick-fil-A.
Got that giveaway
Speaking
going
of Chick-fil-A, got our giveaway raffle going on right now on our website. $10 an entry. Go on there to the form, fill it out. You could win free Chick-fil-A for a year.
Here's Crawley across the middle. And the catch is made.
It's a good haul in there by Manny Ding again.
Down to the 28-yard line, and the offensive coordinator, Crawley, just trying to get his offense to work.
But, yeah, go on the website to the forum and put how many entries you want, and, of course, put your name and your email. You'll get an invoice for however many entries you wanted times 10. It's $10 a ticket. And you're not entered until that invoice is paid. Once it is paid, you'll be entered in the drawing. It's only open until November 9th, the night of the MTAC Championship game. And then on November 16th at halftime of the Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game, we'll draw the winner.
Crawley trying to find an option. He's got a blocker, attempted to pass that to Emmanuel Dang after the punch, and it looked like Crutcher Rizal may have swung his arm there, and a little bit of jaw-jacking going at the 20-yard line.
Crutcher Rizal and Manny Dang, two of the biggest playmakers for their teams, coming head-to-head there. And on the play, you're going to see Dang, he was kind of a safety valve for Crawley. And as Crawley started to roll, Ding released. Crawley just a hair too far for Ding to get the release pass, the safety valve pass.
And, for Riverside, it's interesting because they don't have a home game in the playoffs, being the number 3 seed. So they travel here up to Springfield. They're going back probably later tonight. And then next week, they got to travel back up around this area, a little bit more south, as a timeout is called by South Haven to Ezel Harding. So going to be interesting. About 8:48 left to go in the second half. The MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. .8:45 left to go in the third. Timeout called by the Patriots as Crawley scrambles, brought down from behind by that tough Riverside defense. And how about the All-Star from 2018 making the tackle from behind for Riverside, Jonathan Knotts.
That's a big boy to be bringing down Andrew Crawley. Knotts, one of the bigger guys for Riverside, and absolutely swallowed up the quarterback, and a big, big turnover there. Riverside will take over after South Haven only has a drive of about 3.5 minutes.
And Riverside turning it over on downs.
South Haven.
Riverside getting the ball on the turnover on downs with 8:35. The Knights can get another score here to potentially get the mercy rule closer, but.
Well, no, it would enact the mercy rule. They're sitting at 32. Well, no, you're right.
It was the mercy rule before South Haven got that touchdown, and the catch is incomplete. Michael Black trying to get the reception.
Looked like Atkinson on the coverage. Great job batting the ball down. Yeah, sitting at 26 points. Well, it'd still have to be 2 more scores to bring up mercy rule. Because even with a touchdown and a 2-point, it only takes you to 34 points.
Now, of course, if they tried field goals,
Well,
tried field goals earlier in the game, it might be a different
I want to see Riley Hall kick a field goal so bad.
Maybe if they get to the MTAC championship, they could potentially have a clutch situation like that.
Nah,
That's your
doubtful.
dream come true if a team wins it by a field goal in 8-man football. There's a pass to the right to Crutcher Rizal. Right side, Crutcher Rizal turning on the Jets. First down in Patriots territory.
Boy, he's got some jets, but South Haven's Manny Dang just a little bit quicker to get there, force him out of bounds. Otherwise, we're looking at a 32-point ball game, possibly a 34-point ball game.
Score 44-18, and according to the James Shannon Index, this is the game we were planning to see.
What does that even mean, the James Shannon Index? I've literally never heard anyone in my life say that.
Left side rush by Raymond Hunt. He's getting outside that South Haven defense and down to about the 27-yard line. Well, the James Shannon Index, you know what that means. It means the world according to James.
I've literally never heard anyone ever say that.
I've said it the past few weeks.
I've heard you say it.
There you
I've
go.
never heard it like I've never heard a high school playoff game called a wild card game.
Yeah, well, there's a first for everything.
Now the NFL
There's
wild card.
There's a first for everything. There's a first for everything. 1st and 10 on about the 27-yard line.
Well, this is your hill to die on right here.
This is South Haven's hill to die on as well. 1st and 10. Black scrambles right side. Raymond Hunt just not looking for the pass. Incomplete.
Well, it could have been a little bit higher too, but David Black didn't put enough mustard on it. And it'll bring up a 2nd down.
So on a 2nd and 10, South Haven's defense hasn't been as great as they've of course wanted it to be, but at least for them to hold them down to 44 points instead of getting the mercy rule enacted, I mean it's a lot better situation than you would think.
Well, it speaks to just the tenacity that they bring to the field,
especially under the defensive coordination of their head coach Jason Zimmerman. The South Haven defense tries to stand strong as Crutchery Zell gets a gain of about 7-8 yards on the play. Make that 3rd down and short.
Number 5, Manny King of the Patriots. And bring up a Knights. 3rd down.
And again, you mentioned it with the first 8-man football game in history for Ezell Harding. We called that game between the Eagles and the Knights of Riverside, and it was close up until about the start of the 4th quarter, and Ezell just turned on the Jets. But I think Riverside has probably used their #finish to try and use that as more of a reason to finish going into the semifinal.
Well, Riverside had a bunch of breaks go their way in the first half, like I said, but just David Black committing some costly turnovers in the 4th quarter.
And penalties flying. We'll get the call from Tidwell.
Prior to the snap, delay a game on the offense. Replay 3rd down.
So 3rd down and 7. Again, Larry Tidwell, the white cap for tonight's playoff game. There's a lot of great officials. Do have the list of officials for the game tomorrow between Lancaster and Bowling Green. As right side, Black gets the toss off. The catch is made. What a reception at about the 10-yard line. It's a big reception made by Hunt.
Great grab there, and David Black, putting the ball right where it needed to go.
And it's those kind of offensive plays that have been the story of the night for Riverside Christian. And trying to make MTAC postseason history by being the first team in the 16 playoff to upset the higher seed. We've seen the number 2 seeds upset the 1, but see if number 3 can hold it out here in Springfield. Black with the quick toss. The catch is made. End zone touchdown for Raymond Hunt.
Young man getting in the play. Now, that was Sammy Morris, the senior, with the quick touchdown. But a great job there of David Black putting the ball right where it needed to go. And you're going to see Morris here on an out route. Up, bam, got him. Went with the outside man instead of the deep guy. Good call by David Black. And a huge score for Riverside. Still 4 points away. 3 points away from a mercy rule. And Ding is limping off the field.
That is not a good sign for the Patriots if they didn't have enough struggles to deal with. And Riverside misses the 2-point conversion attempt. 50
flag on the play, though.
18, there is a flag.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. Extra point, no good.
So make that 50-18. The Riverside Knights leading 4 points away from enacting the mercy rule in this playoff game. 5:46 left to go in the third as Riverside just trying to close it out here. But South Haven's offense has anything to say about it, they will try to keep it going and touchback.
That'll be a touchback.
So, it's one of the things we've talked about a lot on the shows on Sundays and throughout the games that we've done. It's nothing to be ashamed of with getting this huge of a loss if the score holds for South Haven. It's just that the North it's just a testament to how strong the South has been. And for the first time in a long time, the South teams are very strong going into the playoffs.
Well, you look at the top 3 teams in the South. Easel Harding, who did they beat? CCS, who was the 1 seed. Lancaster also beat CCS, who was the 1 seed.
And then Riverside, they did not compete this year. Even though Riverside played CCS last year, tossed to Atkinson, overthrown and incomplete.
Well, but then you had Riverside beating South Haven Christian last week, who ended up being the 2 seed. So the South just extremely strong this year. And a lot of talk about potential 2 South teams meeting in the championship.
That'd be the
but
first
after
time.
last week, it's I don't know. You got to wonder.
It depends on how you see Lancaster, or it depends on how you see Lancaster perform tomorrow night in their game against Bowling Green, and then they have to get the job done at May Flanders Field. It's not easy to get to the championship. Tossing an interception. Michael Black, the sophomore, heads all the way back for a pick 6. That'll enact the mercy rule, and just the frustrations continue for the Patriots.
9th interception of the year. Clearly leads the league. And another pick 6. That's his 4th of the year. Michael Black sitting on the pass, and a big interception.
Toss over there, and just a short pick 6, maybe about 20 yards. So about 5:29 left to go in the game, and regardless of the 2-point conversion, that should officially enact the mercy rule. But the question is if that carries over to the playoffs.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't it? Why would you want a playoff game to drag out?
Some rules are different than others, Timeout called by South Haven on attempted 2-point conversion attempt. So 5:29. Two-point conversion attempt, so we won't go to commercial after this attempt. As tossed across the middle, the 2-point conversion is good, so make that 58-18, a 40-point lead. And it begs the question, James, about that semifinal next week between Easel and Riverside, assuming the score holds. It begs the question about how is that game going to finish out?
You sure that's not the divisional playoffs?
It's the semifinal.
Just messing with you. Which game? The Easel Riverside? Or?
Yeah, assuming the score holds, that's the big question of that. How is that game going to end up, especially with what we've seen from Riverside
Well, I think
tonight?
you're going to see Riverside. Obviously they can take a shot down the field, but they can also grind the ball and grind the play. So they're going at the same time they're going to have to hold up that Easel offensive and defensive line, who is between both sides. A lot of guys playing both ways. That's the best line overall in this conference right now. They're going to have their hands full. Guys like John Knotts, Riley Hall. They're going to have a lot to do. Levi Ogle.
Certainly a good choice for Coach Dustin McGee to be present here and see what he's up against. Or he could have watched our broadcast at home, but for him to soak in this game, probably trying to get the game plan together as it's touchback of the Patriots try to go back to work. Of course, tomorrow we've got Lancaster Christian Academy hosting the Bowling Green Christian Academy Warriors. That playoff game determines who faces off against the Christian Community School Colts. That's the other semifinal. We'll be live at about 5:45. The game kicking off at 6 p.m. Set to be full showers tomorrow, unless the forecast has changed down in Smyrna.
It hasn't changed. It's going to be a wet one, folks.
That's why they moved this playoff game to Thursday to try and beat the weather.
Well, it is a beautiful night for a quarterfinal playoff game.
Beautiful night up in Springfield. Temperatures of about 67 degrees at kickoff, but 51 degrees right now. And Atkinson brought back down by Whidden.
You know, that's someone who's kind of been a quiet killer all year, but it's someone who's going to have a big game next week for Riverside. That's Michael Whidden, number 15. He is a junior, but he's been with the team for a minute. And, you know, you look at this Riverside team, only 2 freshmen. The rest, a whole lot of juniors and a whole lot of sophomores. So they've got the makeup of a team who could pull an upset. But then again, you look at how strong Ezel is, Riverside's going to have to bring it.
And the toss across the right side goes to about the 15-yard line. That's reception made by Batson. And now about 3:42 and just winding down here. And, you know, for South Haven, we already talked about it, how the North has just had a more weaker year compared to the rest of the conference. But I mean, for them to be the number 2 seed, to go from being winless last year and to get back into the playoffs, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Well, they you know, despite not quite having the season that maybe they needed to have, they've beat who they need to beat and done what they need to do.
Yeah, and again, the Patriots, the number 2 seed 2 years ago and this year. And the catch is made. How about that catch in coverage? Sammy Morris tried to break it up, but Houston Williford getting the catch.
Senior showing up with a big catch over the middle, or down the right side, rather. Great job hauling it in. And a bright spot there for the Patriots in a game that honestly has not had that many bright spots.
Right now, a 40-point lead. Crawley gets it over to Deng and tripped up in the backfield, loss of about 2-3 yards on the play. And, of course, you look at the schedule that the Patriots had throughout the season. I mean, they opened on a Saturday against Franklin Christian, a rematch of their final game of the regular season last year. Had 2 bye weeks. Hosted Lighthouse, hosted the Tennessee School for the Deaf, traveled on the road to May Flanders Field, then hosted Bowling Green. Another bye week, traveled against the Heat, another bye week for fall break, and then at Riverside, closing their season on the road here. How about a deep toss left side? The flag is thrown from the backfield, but the catch is made by Drew Atkinson, and we'll have a penalty marker on the field. We'll get Tidwell's call in a moment, but interesting. Tidwell's gotten some decent mic time tonight. Pass interference ruled, and it's declined with the catch of Drew Atkinson making the athletic play.
Great job by Atkinson beating the defenders and hauling the ball in. He's a junior as well, along with Manny Ding and Andrew Crawley, Alex Martinez, Ray Lopez, Joseph Robinson. Those are some guys that are going to have to step up next year with some of the seniors they're losing.
Crawley brought down for a loss, 2nd and goal on the 9-yard line. And you look at Riverside's schedule, too. I mean, it hasn't been easy, that easy for them. I mean, they had Ezel on the road for their first game of the year. Then they hosted Classical on a Saturday. I mean, they traveled to Swanee, so they had a decent game on Thursday. They had a quick turnaround. Then hosting Freedom and FCA at the Heat, bye week at Lancaster, and a bye week, then hosting South Haven. So, I mean, their schedule it's had a good mixture in there of competitive teams. Same for the Patriots. It's just been one of those tough things. Emmanuel Dang, touchdown.
What a catch by that young man going up for the ball. Michael Black had no opportunity on that. A great catch, and it will stop the mercy rule.
That's 4 touchdowns on the night for South Haven. They're 0 for 3 on their 2-point conversions, but here's Dang again making the catch.
That was coverage. A great one, too, and a good throw by Crawley. Great placement on the play.
So about 29 seconds left to go in the third. 4 touchdowns on the night for South Haven and for Riverside. Too many to count. Unless you could do some homeschool math in your head real quick there.
Really? It's 8 touchdowns.
I'm kidding. Crawley, right side, is intercepted. But, again, they haven't enacted it in high school where you can return it, which is probably going to be coming sooner than later. But 58-24, the Patriots stopped the mercy rule, but down by about 34. .29 seconds left to go in the third, so about 12 minutes, 29 seconds left on South Haven's season unless they can orchestrate a beautiful comeback. They've stopped the mercy rule on this onside kick attempt. It's touched there by That's
Ogle.
Levi Ogle, but manages to recover it, and Riverside will start in South Haven territory.
Give a shout out to all 30 of y'all watching our broadcast, whether you're a Riverside fan, a South Haven fan, maybe you're a coach or a player from another team. Thank you for watching.
A lot of great engagement on the chat this year. Or at least a lot of great engagement on the chats for the broadcast today, as well as throughout the season. All you fans have
You guys bring it.
up.
You guys bring it for sure.
Hope you bring it just as much as you did for the MTAC Championship last year. We got that on November 9th, 7 p.m. at Ezel Harding. As Raymond Hunt, there's a flag thrown, and to about the 32-yard line, flags thrown. Get the call from Tidwell in just a moment.
You said blocking the back?
No, mate, yeah.
So maybe a block in the back there, and get the call from Tidwell. He's having a discussion with his officials. And the flag is waved. It's now second down.
It was on his inside shoulder. Inside right here.
Sorry.
About 17 seconds left. The flag is lifted. Second down and 5. So run up the middle, Crutcher Ezel. Maybe a gain of half a yard there, but second down as the final seconds of the third quarter wind down. 58-24. Riverside leading with 12 minutes left to go, trying to wrap things up in Springfield.
And that will end the third quarter.
12 minutes left to go in the fourth. Spencer Thompson, James Shannon, proud to bring you this MTAC playoff game. As up the middle, a big rush for Crutcher Ezel, and just trying to put the icing on the cake for this playoff win on the road.
Crutcher Ezel has done a great job all game long. If we did a player of the game, it would probably be Crutcher Ezel.
Probably be one nominated, of course, but about 11, just over 11 minutes, and Riverside just trying to finish it here on the road. And again, playoff bracket, Riverside will head to Ezel Harding next week for the semifinal playoff, and Christian Community awaits the winner of Bowling Green Lancaster tomorrow night. We have that game. Kickoffs at 6 p.m. We'll be live at about 5:45 Central. Hand off up the middle, right side, and just tripped up in the backfield. That's Shane Morris. And again, you look at Riverside, they've got about 4 seniors on their team who have really taken the charge in leading their teams this year. And a lot of those guys, they've already been leaders with their team as juniors and sophomores. They kind of stepped up, but it was interesting, especially last year, they only had 1 senior graduate for football with John Trahan. So a lot of those junior leaders from last year who are now seniors, this is just a comfortable role for them.
Yeah, they returned a whole lot of guys with a whole lot of experience.
And incomplete pass.
Of course, they got Mr. Jake Rubelski in there right now. He's their closer. He's done a great job of it all year. He was the starter last year when David Black was out with a broken collarbone.
Yeah, I remember that last year. Got it injured in practice before the week of their
The
game
first
against
drive,
Christian
the
Community.
first drill of the first practice of the season.
Yep. Now back and better than ever, and he's leading his team to
Well, he's on fire.
playoff upset. Some movement there, and yeah, we'll get the false start. It's not getting Tidwell's microphone on there, and
Still remaining. Third down.
5 yards back for about third down and 17. And timeout called, and 10:31 left to go in the game. Riverside just trying to wrap it up here on the road. 10:31 left to go in the fourth. Toss left side, incomplete again.
Just cannot make that play.
It's kind of been the story of the night for Patriots, and Coach Jason Zimmerman going into this season, he was 8-8 overall, a perfect 500 record, and after a 3-4 record, it's 11-12 going into the playoffs. So be 11-13 after the night. Which, I mean, at 500, it's difficult to do that in 8-man football. So for Zimmerman, it's not too bad of a record. As toss on the right side, that is ruled incomplete.
Well,
Hit off the ground.
especially when you count in a championship game and another playoff appearance.
Yep.
For Coach Zimmerman, it's not a bad resume.
And upsetting the number one seed in the South in 2017 as well.
That will be a turnover on downs. It will be a Patriots first down.
And Coach Zimmerman has done well to coach up the Patriots. Just frustration here, unfortunately, at home. So now a 1st and 10 for South Haven, turning it over on downs. And flags thrown. And leave an illegal substitution, or like it's that, and move it back 5 yards.
Legal substitution.
Yep.
Yep.
So now 1st and 15.
Literally sitting 1 point away from the mercy rule. It's 34. That's a killer. Can we make the mercy rule like 34 or 36? Why 35?
Because 35 is by 5 touchdowns and extra points.
Well, yeah, if you kick 1 point extra points, but guess how many teams kick 1 point extra points? Not enough to have it at 35.
And it's flea flicker dang over to Crawley. It's intercepted. That's probably the first interception of the year for Emmanuel Dang. And how about another pick six for Riverside?
That's
and
3
Crutcher
pick sixes for Crutcher Rizell on the day. The junior is literally showing out on another level. Just sitting right under the pass, boom. Came from the other side of the field, just drifted over and snagged it.
Managed to avoid the tackles and just walk into the end zone. And make that 64-24. It's back up to 40 on the lead. And two-point conversion attempt coming up for Riverside.
Oh, come on. Let Riley Hall kick the extra point. Do it.
You're wanting that at this point. And
he's a senior. He deserves it.
it's a right side rush by Rubelski.
Shout out to the
Post
window.
Monster. Post Monster.
Shout out to the window.
66-24.
We can always see right through you.
66-24, the score with exactly 10 minutes left to go in the fourth. 10 minutes left to go in the fourth. Kickoff by Leal as the clock begins to run and the mercy rule enacted again. As it's brought down at about the 15-yard line. Several flags thrown.
There's a little jaw-jacking. And
it's just maybe some unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the play. So we'll get the call from Tidwell in just a moment discussing it.
Personal foul, blindside block on the return team. First down.
Oh, well, I was wrong. Not the first time, not the last time, but I was wrong.
Right. It's happened. They move it back to the 10-yard line. Coach Travis Creasy, in his going into this season, he was 30-27 overall, came in with a positive record. And after this season, finished up 6-2. That makes him 36-29, looking to go 37-29 with winning this playoff game, assuming the score holds. But for all that Coach Creasy has gone through, especially with the fighting leukemia and such, this win has to be more special than the others. As a safety for Riverside. So he got 2 more points on there for Riverside Christian Academy. You're looking upset at me about not getting that safety, man. The game's over at this point.
Yeah, but you want to get every play.
It's unfortunate. Another
every
safety.
play, Spencer.
More frustration.
Continuity.
More frustration for South Haven, but
frustration here for not getting the safety.
For Coach Creasy, for all that he's fought through with leukemia and being able to return back and get back on the coaching field a year later, almost about a year ago to the day.
Just over a week.
Yep.
Yeah, last week was a year ago to the day that last Wednesday. A year ago last Wednesday was when he announced that let everyone know what was going on, began his process of kicking cancer's butt. And it's all come full circle. A year later, his team's headed to the semifinals.
It's incredible, and we'll see 2 South teams collide in the semifinal. First time that's ever happened, of course, with they're making history. First number 3 seed to upset a 2 seed, and first time that semifinal will be contested between 2 South teams. As a low onside kick attempt stops at about the 26-yard line. And
dedication from these fans.
There's a Riverside player down. It's the one who got the onside kick attempt. Covered it there. We'll see if we can get the player's name and such. But and officials timeout. So we'll step aside for an injury timeout. Levi Ogle was the injured Riverside player down. And South Haven trying to get a defensive stop here, but being down by 44 points.
Well, you want to let that clock wind down as far as possible and then take your timeout.
Yep, timeout by Riverside there. And we look a little bit to tomorrow's game between Lancaster and Bowling Green Christian, James, and of course a lot of people having those questions of why is a 1-8 team in the postseason? How did they get there? And of course, the Tennessee Heat dropping out in that in MTAC play, that's the reason why the Bowling Green Warriors are in their number 3 seed. But it's also because they got business done against Lighthouse Christian School earlier in the year.
Yeah, a big win there in Antioch, a 6-point win for the Warriors. First time they'd ever beat the Lions. And it's, it'll be interesting to see if the second game had counted, if the result would have been a little bit different. But, a big win for Bowling Green that night, their only win of the year. And it's the one that puts them in. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. We have not seen playoff Gage Holman. And I am very excited to see what that looks like. Lancaster, very seasoned, very experienced in the playoffs. Bowling Green, very young.
And incomplete across the right side. And again, Lighthouse, they started their practice late, which it's a testament to how all the rest of the football programs around the league are they very much care about their summer practices, because a bunch of the teams start in July. Lighthouse, of course, they can't, because of where their students are, they can't really start practicing until about 2 weeks before their school year starts, or maybe even the same week.
Well, no, they started practice the week that's the day that school started.
Yep.
And that was to help with the recruiting situation of trying to get guys into the team. You had a coaching change, so it's hard to have summer workouts and practices and get guys there.
Yep.
So they did what they had to do. They did their best, and really they've shown out this last part of the season.
And run across the middle. There goes Marcus Whitworth. Pulled down from the backside and down at about the 9-yard line for first and goal. But for Lighthouse, of course, their first game of the year was hosting Lancaster Christian in Antioch. And then following that, it was very, very interesting. So
A little pushback on the – did we get the replay? There's a little something on the backside.
See if we'll get the call from Tidwell. And unsportsmanlike conduct called on Riverside.
There's got to be something on the after the play. Maybe something with the South Haven player on the ground. I didn't get the replay, so I didn't get the chance to see it. But got to be something going on with that.
4:20 left to go in the game as Patriots are going to go on vacation after tonight, at least for football. They bounce right back.
Well, basketball tryouts are Monday, so jump right into the next season.
Be sure to tune into our Instagram Live. Raymond Hunt gets the catch, and the South Haven defense brings him down at the 21-yard line. Be sure to tune into Instagram Live. We'll get the post-game handshakes. We'll also get the post-game interview with Coach Travis Creasy, get his thoughts on the W, and, of course, looking forward to Ezel Harding in the semifinal round next week. So it's going to be a great post-game show on Instagram Live. 3:30 and winding down. Patriots, nothing to be ashamed about. They made it back to the postseason, and especially in a down year for the North. And South Haven lost a lot of seniors from last year, a lot of their star power. And for them to get back into the playoffs, it's nothing to be ashamed about. 2nd down and 9. Toss across the left, incomplete. Almost an interception for Nathan Starnes.
Looked like Whidden was the intended target on the play.
And you got to give it up to Riverside, too, for the tough challenge they had. Obviously, they got the victory at home in Fayetteville. But for them to go around the next week, travel up here to Springfield.
On a short week.
It's short week, too, because of converting. It was only a six days until the next game. So virtually 3 days of practice, maybe 4 if you do Saturday. But
no, they got 3 days. Took Saturday off, film on Sunday, 3 days of practice.
Yep. For them to turn around.
They still showed up.
That was what Coach Creasy was telling us when we talked to him pregame. He said he loves missing the breakdown on Thursdays when he asked him, but he was really hyped going for this game. And long snap and not picked up. South Haven gets the fumble recovery, but all too late on that. Going the other way. We'll get the replay on it just for the fun of it, but just a long snap.
Well, it's not ever fun to see a young man make a mistake like that, like the center did. But just a little miscommunication. You got some backup guys in there, just completely over. Well, not backup. Riley Hall's the center, But, just completely missed the quarterback. When you're used to a quarterback and then you put in another, it takes a minute to kind of get used to the height situation and where the quarterback wants the ball. And there's clearly miscommunication, misexecution there on the play. It's not like it's a game-changing turnover.
And South Haven gets the ball at least for one last time to finalize their season. Got a few more plays here, and then the Patriots will head right into basketball.
Well, you're gonna get 2 more plays out of this, and South Haven's not gonna lay down. They're gonna continue to fight until the very end.
That's a testament to the mentality for South Haven coaching staff and their players, Zimmerman leading their guys to push till the very end. We saw that a bunch last year with the several games we called in their losing season. Toss right side, Atkinson incomplete, and 50 seconds left and winding down. Well, Riverside pulled off the upset. They got it done on the road.
A very, very similar score to last week. Last week, Riverside beat South Haven 60-24. So same score, but Riverside tacked on an extra touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
And 1 play left from offense, most likely for the Patriots. 20 seconds. Deep toss by Crawley. And to Dang. The catch is made down at the 5-yard line. And
we'll have some pass interference here, and it will stop the clock.
Zimmerman calls a timeout. Zimmerman calling a timeout to try and get one more score. And
well, no, the clock stopped because of the penalty.
We'll see if we can get the penalty here. We'll get the call.
Pass interference on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down. Timeout. Offense.
So they still called it because they would have run the clock.
Right, the clock would have started as soon as the official gives Larry gives the signal. So you call a timeout so that way you can just draw up a play and end the game on a positive note, end the season on a positive note.
You may have missed it there, but we saw Coach Michael Crawley hugging Eric Sordo on the sideline there.
Well, he's a senior. Crawley's been around for 3 years. I take that back. 4. This is his 4th year as a coach for South Haven. Sorto's been around for 4 years. This is a heartbreaking way to end the season and a heartbreaking way to end your career as a South Haven player. But there's always the opportunity for the All-Star game.
Yep.
And that could happen.
And for Riverside at least, their season not done yet. They still got a job to do as Riley Hall celebrating on the sideline. They still got a big job to do going against arguably the number 1 team in the conference and I believe number 4 team in the NHSA rankings. 11 seconds left, likely the final play of South Haven's season. And toss over there, Emmanuel Dang gets the touchdown.
That's huge. Another connection from Crawley to Dang, and he's hurting after coming down from catching that. Just off frame. Now he's coming back in. He's hurting.
And here's the touchdown to show you final offensive.
Great catch by Dang, though. Crawley putting the ball right where it needed to be.
Pass is complete to number 5, Manny Dang. The result of the play, he will be a Patriot! Touchdown!
4 seconds left, and PA announcer in stadium, Mr. Corey, just enthusiastic as ever, even with the score and such. One of the better PA announcers around the league, that's for sure.
He's all right. He's all right, He may or may not. If you come to the 2019 Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game, you may or may not hear his voice.
You may or may not hear it at the MTAC Championship as well.
Hey, he's picking up some work, and rightfully so.
Goes after that right into basketball, too. Run up the middle. The 2-point conversion is made by Eric Sordo. How about a way to finish out your senior year of football,
Hey,
at least with your brothers, by getting a 2-pointer?
Hey, how about this? First playoff game, and we're just going to cap it at an even 100 points. Bam.
Yep. Unless
That's how we do 8-man football in Tennessee.
Unless
hey,
there's a return for
a blowout playoff game. Let's score 100 points.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Again, want to give a shout out to everyone who tuned in tonight. Thank you for watching. Got a big one tomorrow. Bowling Green Christian, Lancaster Christian from Smyrna Middle School.
It's a rainy day tomorrow, that's for sure.
Pleasure.
And of course, again, credit to all the officiating crew for tonight's game. Very well assigned by Ronnie Perkins for their high performance in the season. Larry Tidwell, the referee, umpire Gary Nicholson, Howard Schimmel, the line judge, Andra Johnson, the back judge, Odell Bradley, the head linesman, and Josh Chote, the clock operator. Just fantastic job by the crew tonight. And clock winds down. That's going to end it. The shocker for the number 3 seed, 68-32. Riverside is moving on to face off against the Ezel Harding Eagles in the semifinal. We'll see you for the post game on Instagram. Thank you for tuning in to the MTAC Wildcard Playoff game presented by Kingdom.com. We'll see you for the post game.